We have two dealerships. We're a top crop dealer. We've got one dealership in Gravelbourg with a brew station, and another in Regina with another brew station. We sold a fair bit of ACF last year. Tried it mainly on chickpeas. Tried it on some barley, durum, and some wheat as well. We saw some pretty good results from all of it. But the big key that we wanted to really see how it worked was on the chickpeas. The chickpeas are a highly disease sensitive crop. Like they get disease fairly easily. We're in a high rain area. We get anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of rain annually. Heavy clay, like it's a really heavy gumbo just outside of Regina. We farm about 10,000 acres out there, and so we put 2,500 acres into chickpeas this year. And what we wanted to do was see how we could get away from using conventional fungicides to grow a chickpea crop, because a lot of guys are spraying them 4, 5, 6 times just to get a crop. So you've got all this money out there in fungicides, which is basically almost up to $100, $120 an acre. And what we wanted to see is if we could actually make a plant healthy enough that it wouldn't get disease. So working with Travis on it, we kind of set up a little program to give it a whirl. And the easiest way to monitor your disease, if you were going to potentially get some disease in your plant, was through the Brix levels. This is just simply done with a refractometer. You take your plant, squeeze it in a garlic press, and then throw it on the refractometer, and then it'll just give you a number on your reading. So if your number is above 12, your plant shouldn't get any disease. If it's above 6, insects won't bug it. And so what we did when we were watching throughout the year, we consistently were in the 12 to 14 range. I think we fell down into the 10 for a little while, but every time we'd go out and spray, we'd have orthophosphate and then the ACF. We had 2 different kind of trials that we did, but we did them not so much on a trial basis. We did them on a full field basis. So I had fields where I had 7 gallons of ACF, and I had fields where I had 5 gallons of ACF plus 1 pass of Diax fungicide. And so what we saw was an extremely green, healthy plant. You can see in the pictures here. So this is my neighbor. He bought seed off me, and he's on the left-hand side. I'm on the right. And there's another field just across the road here, and you could see it. It was just as green as the other one. But we tested his Brix levels. His Brix levels were 4. He sprayed his, I believe, 4 or 5 times. At the end of the year when we were done and got the crop off, his stuff ran about 50 and ours was about 62 on this particular field. So what we saw was if he had put 5 passes of fungicide on, we did 3 passes of ACF, and there's about a $60 difference probably in application costs. Plus we got a significant yield bump as well. So basically, what we learned from it is that you don't need to use a conventional program of fungicides to grow a crop anymore. This was the first year on our farm that we didn't use any fungicides on anything, and the results on our barley were significantly better. We do a program with John Deere Corporate where they come out and they combine some land they come out and do a combine program. So they bring people out from all over the world and let them run combines. And so the difference that we were seeing on where we had put the ACF on our barley was probably about 15 to 20 bushels better. We were running on dry land barley, we were running north of 125 bushels an acre. Where we didn't use the ACF, we were about 90 to 100. So there's a significant difference in the yields that we got. Plus, what we find too is you get a lot better quality seed at the end of the harvest. In this little picture here too, it's just it's probably one of the highest yielding chickpea fields I think anybody's ever done. The field on the left here was pretty much our best one that we did. It ran about 72.9 bushels to the acre, and we had, I believe, it was around 8% hail damage. So we would have been close to 80 bushels an acre for chickpeas on dry land farming. So it was pretty good, and what we attribute that to is going away from the conventional wisdom of what your agronomist at your Pioneer tells you to do. They say, here, run your 5 passes of fungicide because this is what we got in the shed, and that's that. So basically what we did was we changed up our program. We used a lot of orthophosphate because we've seen really good results with the orthophosphates, and we run the Kugler products. So we ran XRN, and we ran XRN on our pulse on a pulse crop as well too. We also didn't inoculate any of our pulse crops. I find inoculant to be a complete waste of money. So instead of inoculating, we ran fertilizer. The reason I do it is I want to bring the crop in, and I want to bring it in evenly. The plant stand, when I run fertilizer as opposed to running inoculant, is I get a tabletop flat plant stand, and then it also comes in really timely. So basically the crop will grow, and then when it runs out of nutrients, it just shuts off. And that's the other thing that we noticed significantly with the ACF is it'll cut down your days to maturity. Probably on our chickpeas, I bet you we were 10 days. We had a pile of rain in the fall, so we didn't get on them as early as would have liked to. But we had a very good start to the crop. But then once we got it seeded, we didn't get any rain for pretty much about a month. So the plant jumped up out of the ground, was about 2-3 inches tall, and then it literally just stopped growing. So what the ACF helped us do was speed it up so that it could bypass frost. And mind you, we didn't get frost till I think October sometime this year. So it does speed up the harvest season. So basically, what we did, we do multiple applications. So on your chickpeas, we would have normally done probably 5 or 6 applications of fungicide. But what we did was we went out and we did a 2-gallon application with orthophosphate and XRN. Then we went back and then we did 3 gallons of ACF with just LS624 orthophosphate. And then we went back again on some and did Diax fungicide, and then we did on others we did another 2 gallons of the ACF. Now the two big differences that I noticed on using the fungicide as opposed to using another pass of the ACF was the ACF, where we put another 2 gallons on, the crop seemed to grow a little bit longer because we started getting significant amounts of rain at the end of the year. On the where we ran the Diax and the fungicide, the plant just pretty much quit growing, and so we were able to get on it. So basically, what we think we learned off that is too much is not good either. So you don't want to just run a pile of it thinking that you're going to get better and better results. So I think the better result was with the 5 gallons as opposed to the 7. And 7 is fairly excessive for use, but with chickpeas, pretty much everything you do is excessive. The yield difference on our derm was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 8 bushels an acre, I would say. Same with our wheat was similar to that. The derm, the quality this year wasn't overly great, but it was, I think we grew a 3 quad, so it wasn't that bad. But we got at our farm probably close to 8 to 10 inches of rain in the fall at harvest time. So with that amount of rain, we were pretty happy that we ended up still getting a 3 as opposed to a feed. Some of our wheat was anywhere well, the majority of it was a number 3, but we had some that was a feed. But where we had feed, we also didn't apply the ACF. So we figured did a little bit. And then on the yield on the wheat, it was similar to the derm, like I'd said, about 8 bushels to the acre. And that's about it. If anybody's got any questions, I'll be around after.